This is the biggest lie I've ever heard a CEO tell.
The one notable country that you're not sourcing from is China.
We made a decision that we are only going to depend on supply chains that we can completely trust. And that was a country we avoided.
When did you make that bet?
2005.
This wasn't a one-time thing. The CEO of this $80 billion company said it again and again and again.
There is no China supply chain for us. We are not dependent on China for scandium. I can state that very clearly.
We never coupled ourselves to the China supply chain, which in hindsight today means that we don't have to decouple from something.
But these statements aren't true. Our reporting found that China isn't just part of Bloom's supply chain. It is key to Bloom's AI data center growth story. A growth story that's taken Bloom stock from $3 to $300. So why hide it? Because Bloom's dependence on China means that the Chinese Communist Party has an off switch on America's AI data center buildout. And the second you realize how dependent Bloom is on one Chinese rare earth, the math behind its promises collapses. And so does Wall Street's story of how this company is going to grow from 1 gigawatt of power a year to 5. The truth is, there's not enough scandium, including China, for Bloom to come even close. And the thing about scandium is it's not a nice to have. It's one of the key differentiators in Bloom's patents. Until now, Bloom's scandium supply chain had been a mystery. By Bloom's own telling, it's a closely guarded secret.
We don't reveal those sources. That's part of our IP.
The only detail Bloom seems to repeat again and again is that it's not dependent on China. Our team of reporters has traced Bloom's scandium supply chain all the way up, combing through trade records, satellite images, and one of our reporters from China messaging Bloom's suppliers directly, using a Pikachu icon. Pikachu? And here's what the supplier said. You see those letters, BE? That stands for Bloom Energy. This is a sales rep from Hunan Oriental Scandium, one of China's biggest scandium producers, which called itself, to us, Bloom's largest supplier. This while Bloom's CEO has said that Bloom has no reliance on a Chinese supply chain at all.
None of our critical materials come from contested supply chains or war zones, and there is no China supply chain for us.
Since China is now enforcing strict export controls on scandium, we asked the supplier how they're getting the scandium from China to the United States. Their answer, quote, not exported directly. But despite Bloom's apparent efforts to obfuscate its scandium supply chain, the truth is hiding in plain sight. And you don't need to take our word for it. You just need to look at pictures from Bloom's May 2026 Supplier Summit. Attendees posted photos of the logo wall to social media. And we counted not one, not two, but 3 Chinese scandium suppliers.
Not 2, not 3.
The same names that turn up repeatedly in trade data, where Bloom Scandium appears to move out of China and then to countries like Thailand and Japan and Korea, and only then to the United States. And we can tell this is a deliberate playbook because one of Bloom's other suppliers, not for scandium, actually wrote it down. In a Chinese securities filing, one company, which supplies Bloom with temperature sensors, disclosed that Bloom told it to stop shipping to the US directly, and instead to route through Taiwan and India first, in order to, quote, gradually reduce direct exports to the US and dodge tariffs. So why is Bloom hiding its China supply chain? We can't actually know for sure. But our bet is that it's because Bloom can't even come close to meeting the demand that Wall Street is modeling. Now, the funny thing is I think Bloom's lawyers are onto this problem. After Bloom's CEO made those false statements on a 2025 earnings call and then again on a podcast, this February, 40 pages into Bloom's SEC filing, the company quietly added a disclosure, admitting it does source some rare earth metals from China, which was a decent enough cleanup job, except for the fact that the CEO then went out and said the opposite again.
That was a country we avoided.
Then he went one step further, and this is actually pretty bad. He implied that avoiding China gives Bloom an edge in selling to the US military.
Does that tee up Department of Defense work? I could see this being a very valuable asset for the US.
It will be. And we can't speak too much about it, but obviously for intelligence and defense.
You could break some news here, it'd be great.
This raises a few questions. Has Bloom been honest with the US government about its China supply chain? Was it honest with Oracle, its biggest customer? What else is Bloom hiding? And what happens if China simply cuts Bloom off? Because right now, every shipment of scandium has to be approved by the CCP. And the CCP isn't just demanding to know who the scandium is being exported to, it's asking who the end customers are. We heard this directly from Chinese suppliers, which means China has a real role in deciding whether Bloom can continue to produce its fuel cells, despite the company saying it has no single points of failure. And in case you haven't heard, the US and China are in an AI arms race. So if the CCP can flip an off switch that cuts off power to American data centers, they really might. And they're already restricting these exports. Of course, there's one other possibility. Bloom does have enough scandium, more than enough. Maybe the demand for Bloom's fuel cells is about as real as the company's claims about its supply chain. And if that's true, then maybe Bloom doesn't have a scandium problem at all. You can read our full investigation where we dig into all of this at hunterbrook.com/Bloom.
Pikachu.